Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys week 9 of the UCL. The St. Louis Rampardos are taking on the Toronto Togekiss and coach the HeatedMo, the Hack Scott himself, of course, partnered with his Jirachi. So this could be a pretty interesting match, man. We'll see how it goes. If you missed the team builder, I definitely encourage you to check that out, of course, in the description below. That way you know what kind of sets and what we're bringing, why we're bringing it, and so on and so forth. And of course, if you're new, definitely subscribe. Show your love with that like button down below as well. 1,500 likes would be marvelous. We are trying to make this playoff push. We're 5-3. A win today would be incredibly important for us to make this playoff run here. We do have a question of the day today. I have a feeling that this may be a bit of a weather war this match, so get your rain boots and your umbrellas and your, sand cloaks and be ready to rock and roll. If Sun and Moon were to introduce a new type of weather, what would it be and what would it do? I don't know. You can let me know in the comment section below. I don't know if they'll introduce any new weather, but interesting topic nevertheless. Who knows? Maybe they will. I don't know. But either way, let me get connected here with the HeatedMo and we'll see how this match is gonna go. All right, guys, we are connected here with the HeatedMo. I am definitely bringing that sand team this week. We haven't brought it really since week 1, but I felt like this is a really a good opportunity for us to bring the sand and hopefully beat him. But it's tough because he could bring weather himself, as I mentioned kind of before, with that Swampert potentially wanted to set up their weather. But we'll see what team he's gonna bring. You can see kind of the 6 that I'm predicting him to bring. Pretty sure Jirachi, Swampert, Crobat are all guarantees. Volcarona seems very likely. I think Cobalion is a good bet as well. Miltank or Chansey could round it out, but he's got a couple other utility Pokemon that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, potentially like HeatedMo or even Quillfish if he brings the rain, like he really wants to bring the rain. Leopard can be Prankster with Damp Rock. Could also bring that Mantine, something like that. So a couple different options. We will definitely see here momentarily. This is always the worst part of the match when you try to see what your opponent's gonna bring. So let's take a look here and see what Mo is gonna bring. Whether I predicted right here. Looks like I pretty much predicted right. I had a feeling that Crobat and Chansey would be relatively interchangeable, so looks like I nailed that. I thought he would go Crobat over Chansey, but that's fine with me. I'm sorry, Miltank over Chansey. So he brings Chansey, Swampert, Crobat, Jirachi, Volcarona, and Cobalion. So pretty much on the dot there. I figured Miltank, but either way, it's all good. So let's see here. Potential leads. He could lead with that Rachi. He could lead with that Crobat. He could lead with the Swampert or the Cobalion. He could lead with anything, really. So for me, let's see here. I would like to get my rocks up, but I don't think I can do that on the lead matchup. I think leading with Asparagus could be really effective. I could lead with Asparagus, get my Mega Evolution off if he leads with like a Cobalion or something like that. I could also lead with Oxygen, which might not be terrible. King Tut wouldn't be bad either, as I could potentially burn something and force him to make some switches. I think getting my Mega Evolution off early is really nice, though. I could potentially Leech Seed something or something like that. It handles the Cobalion relatively well. It takes on the Jirachi. I could take one hit from it. I could Leech Seed it. He may just U-turn out. If he leads Crobat, I could switch. So, actually, I'm going to lead King Tut. I'm going to lead King Tut because I'm thinking he's got a couple Pokemon that can just U-turn against me, so I'm thinking King Tut is probably my best lead. So I'm going to lead with King Tut here and get a Will-O-Wisp off on something, kind of force that chance to go for Heal Bell or Aromatherapy if he has it or not. I really wanted to bring T-Spikes this match, but I had a feeling that it wouldn't be that effective with him having, Crobat to defog, Chansey with Heal Bell, and the Jirachi potentially with the Cobalion. Yeah, I had too many things that are floating, so I didn't know how well that Toxic Spikes would work. But he's going to send out Really, which is going to be the Crobat. So he leads Crobat, I lead King Tut here, which is good. That's why I didn't want to lead with the Venusaur there, because I had a feeling that could be problematic. So I could go for simply a Will-O-Wisp here if I want to. I could also just go for a knockoff, potentially get rid of an item here if he wants to U-turn into the Chansey. So I'm actually thinking I just go for the knockoff here. It would be really nice to burn this thing, but Crobat's not going to do much to me. So I'm just going to simply go for a knockoff here, predicting a U-turn to the Chansey on turn 1. He's not going to go into Swampert. I don't think Cobalion makes a lot of sense. I think he just goes to Chansey here, but he may not be able to touch me. He may only have Toxic on his Chansey. So it's not really, I don't necessarily want to lose this. I'm going to lose the surprise factor on knockoff here, which isn't, it's relatively standard on Configurious, but to me, I feel like he's just going to U-turn out, because Crobat really doesn't do much to me. He could Brave Bird, but I'm fully physically defensive. He could have Super Fang or Toxic, Poison Fang. Those are some of the moves he would typically carry, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be Brave Bird, Defog, Roost, U-turn. That would probably be the most likely set if I had to guess. But if I can get rid of Black Sludge right now, that would be very useful. Or, like I said, the EV Elite on the Chansey would be very nice, because that thing could be problematic for me. If Chansey comes in, I'm going to want to go right into my Venusaur and just go for Leech Seed on the Chansey, because Chansey's not going to really be able to do much to me, and I can start to wear his team down with Leech Seeds. But once I get rid of that EV Elite from the Chansey, it becomes significantly less bulky. That allows Excadrill to handle it much better. T-Tar can hit it pretty hard. Psyshock from Delphox does a tremendous amount of damage. And we have a couple different responses to it. I don't really have anything that can set up on the Chansey except for Excadrill. He's going to go for the Super Fang, but we are, of course, a Ghost type. So we just get to knock off here. So I had a feeling that the Super Fang could be an item that he carries, but he doesn't have an item, or a Super Fang could be a move he would carry. I'm actually thinking I just go for another knockoff here, predicting the U-turn. He may not have it, but I really don't lose much. So I'm just going to go for a knockoff again. If he stays in, fine. If he switches, that's fine. So the Super Fang was something I was thinking he may bring, because I have a lot of bulk on my team, like T-Tar and stuff, which switches in pretty well against this thing. So I'm glad I have Cofagrigus right now, though. But I'm thinking he's probably going to switch out here. If Swampert comes in, I could burn it with Will-O-Wisp. You know, if Jirachi comes in, I could burn it. Volcarona comes in, I could knock off its item. I go immediately into you know, one of my checks like T-Tar or something. I could Rock Slide, kind of threaten him out, or go for like a Willow or I'm sorry, a Thunder Wave. So I have Roar on Vaporeon. He's gonna Brave Bird this time. So we see Brave Bird and Super Fang. So getting a lot of intel from him. You're gonna see this. It's not gonna do too much. Not too much. I mean, I can live it. So we go over the knockoff here. It's really not gonna do a lot to him. That definitely looked like an offensive variant though of Crobat. I do want to kind of calc that, because that did look pretty offensive. Definitely, obviously, not super duper offensive, but looked relatively offensive. Yeah, that definitely looked like an attack invested Crobat there. Definitely looked attack invested. So I'm gonna go over the Will-O-Wisp here. If he wants to stay in, fine, I could burn this thing. He's gonna go over the Roost, so I'm learning a lot about his set right now. I see Roost, Brave Bird, Super Fang, and I'm gonna be able to connect a burn here, hopefully, and essentially cripple this this Crobat. So we are gonna burn it. And I'm thinking there's a very good chance that Chansey has some sort of ability to heal off his team, but at the same time, I'm thinking the knockoff makes the most sense here. This is a losing battle for him. I mean, he does have Roost, but I don't think it's a winning battle on his end. So I'm gonna go for the knockoff again, in case he decides to go into that Chansey. I do a Pain Split as well, so I can heal off a lot of the damage. And Crobat, we have about the same HP stat, unless he's invested, so. But we found out a lot about this Crobat, and Defog is likely his last move. He's just gonna stay in a Brave Bird again, so that's fine by me. Now that he's burned, it's really not gonna do a whole lot. You can see it does less than half, so, or it doesn't even bring me to half, and a knockoff's gonna come off here. So he hasn't seen any other moves from me. He doesn't even know if I have Shadow Ball yet, which I do. We're gonna get some health back from lefties here. He's kind of weakening us a little bit. I mean, I could just Shadow Ball now, because Shadow Ball is gonna do about 30%. I could 2 KO from this range with Shadow Ball. I could also predict the Roost here. Going to T-Tar to get my rocks up, but that seems a bit pointless. I'm just gonna Shadow Ball this turn. He's not gonna go into Chansey, I don't think, this time. So, and if he does go into Chansey, that's fine. I'll knock off. Like, it doesn't bother me now. Now that this thing is burned, it's less of a threat, a lot less of a threat. And we could force him to Roost, so I can get my rocks up potentially. Or what I could do here is, if he doesn't Roost on this turn, I'm gonna allow him to essentially, let me think here. If he doesn't Roost on this turn, what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna go to, I think I'd go to Delphox and Psyshock. But with that Chansey still having its EVLA, it's gonna be tough. And I want to keep my Scarf, I think. I don't think I want to give that to Chansey. Not at this point in the game. I think having my Scarf is gonna be worth it. It gives me a security against the Volcarona. It gives me, you know, something to outspeed the, he's gonna switch this turn. So, does he go into that Chansey though this time? Here comes this thing, which is the Volcarona. I'm gonna catch it with a Shadow Ball. So Volcarona comes in, very scary. I'm gonna do a solid chunk to it. He shows lefties on his Volcarona. Okay. Lefties. Alright, so what I gotta do here is make my proper switch in a Volcarona, which is gonna be a Tyranitar, I'm thinking right now. I could also go into Delphox here to threaten that immediately, but I think T-Tar is a good bet, because T-Tar can live any hit from this thing. I could live any hit from a Volcarona pretty much all day, even if he goes +1, unless he has HP fighting. Unless he has HP fighting. That would be the only instance of him, like, destroying me, is if he has HP fighting. So, I'm thinking that's my play, though, going to Godzilla here. Yeah, let's do that. I don't think he's gonna Bug Buzz, so let's go to Godzilla. I don't think he's gonna Bug Buzz, but we saw the lefty, so he might be like a bulkier variant. We'll see though. We're gonna get our Volcarona is so scary though because of how it can set up in your face. He's gonna Quiver Dance, so he just goes for the Quiver Dance right off the bat. Now that I know he's lefties, I can live any hit from this thing, no problemo. I know I can live a hit from this thing, so I can go for a Rock Slide here and knock this thing out. And there's really no reason for me to do any predictions here. My play 1,000,000% is to Rock Slide. I need to knock this thing out if he stays in. So I'm just gonna go over the Rock Slide. If he wants to predict that going to Jirachi, that's fine. If he wants to go into something else, that's also fine. I have to Rock Slide here, 1,000,000%. If he thinks he can knock me out, then fire away, man. But I'm bulky, so. But I have to go for Rock Slide here. I cannot allow this thing to set up on me. Because Volcarona is just incredibly scary when it sets up. It's very, very bulky. It's got good natural bulk. It has that glaring 4x weakness to Stealth Rocks, though, which is what hinders it in competitive play. But Quiver Dance on this thing is absolutely monstrous. It's so strong. He's going to switch, so he's going to make the safe play here. I didn't want to make take any chances. So here comes Judy, which is the Chansey, which is fine by me. I'm going to get a Rock Slide off here. Chansey really can't do too much to me, in all honesty. So this is an opportunity for me to set up my Stealth Rocks, because this could force a defog later. So I'm going to take this opportunity to get my Stealth Rocks up here, and I believe that is 2 turns of sand, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to get my rocks up. He may just go for a Heal Bell here, potentially try to heal off some damage, but I got to get my rocks up, because that's really going to hinder that Volcarona's usefulness later, and it'll force the Crobat defog. And what I could do is I could just go straight into Cofagrigus here shortly, and potentially try to knock off, or I could put the offensive pressure on and go into Delphox. I want to see if he's a toxic variant or if he's T-Wave. So I'm expecting a Heal Bell here, if I'm being completely honest. He's going to S-Toss, so he just goes for the Seismic Toss. So we see the Seismic Toss. And it doesn't do much to me. I'm very bulky, obviously. And I think that's, what is that, 3 turns of sand. Okay. So to me, I'm feeling like I can go into Delphox here and fire off some Psyshocks against this Chansey, put some pressure on him. I could also go into Cofagrigus here, which is actually what I think I'm going to do, because I could fire off a Knockoff or a Shadow Ball predicting the Crobat to come in. And we could potentially knock the Crobat out after Rocks, which would be nice. I could also go into Excadrill, but I think I'm going to go into King Tut here. A Knockoff would be very nice. And he could defog away, but if he defogs Burn plus Sandstorm plus Knockoff, everything like that, we might be able to knock out the Crobat. So he's going to S-Toss again, no big deal. He's going to get buffeted by the Sandstorm. So on this play here, I think I should Shadow Ball, because he's not going to want to lose his Chansey's item. He's not. He's not going to want to lose Chansey's item here. I think he's going to go to Crobat to take the knockoff. But I'm a little conflicted here, because getting rid of this item would be big. Like, getting rid of this item would be huge. And I don't, if he like were to go for a Toxic right now, that'd be devastating. 2, I think he'd go into Crobat. That's the thing though, Crobat comes in after Knockoff plus Burn plus Sandstorm and Stealth Rocks. Shadow Ball would knock out the Crobat if he decides to defog. So I could put some pressure on there. I think Knockoff is the proper play here, because knocking out this item on this Chansey is very valuable to me. But a Shadow Ball could potentially knock out the Crobat right off the bat, which would be very, very nice. Because then he can't get rid of Rocks. I think we're 4 turns of Sandstorm. I lost track. I kind of want a Shadow Ball predicting the switch here. I'm going to Shadow Ball predicting the switch. He's going to switch. Going to Crobat. He goes into Really. I think that is the Crobat. Yep, awesome. So Crobat takes Stealth Rocks damage, it's going to take Sandstorm damage, Burn damage, and a Shadow Ball. I have a feeling that it is not living all of those things combined. Shadow Ball comes off, and it does just straight up knock out the Crobat. So that is awesome. So Rocks are here to stay. Cofagrigus kills Crobat with Shadow Ball. Very nice. So Rocks are here to stay, which means that Volcarona is incredibly crippled now. That means that Volcarona is incredibly crippled. It's at about, let's say 75%. I don't remember. The Chansey was at about 70% as well. It was relatively weakened, but we did get rid of that thing. And Cofagrigus has proven to be very effective at this point in the match. He could go into Swampert here, which will allow me to go for. Here comes what is this? The Chansey again? No, here comes the Volcarona again. Look at that Stealth Rocks damage. Oh my goodness, that is just a wonderful thing. My play here, I think, is Godzilla again. Really. Or I could Shadow Ball and hope I knock him out with a Shadow Ball. The thing is, if he roosts right now, though, that's problematic for me. I don't know if Shadow Ball knocks him out at +1. And I don't want to allow him to set up on me. Because he could be Roost. T-Tar versus Volcarona. No. Cofagrigus versus Volcarona. Because I think this Cofagrigus has some usefulness still. Shadow Ball looks like it could knock him out, but if he goes +1 right now, it's a damage roll, so I don't think so. He can't kill me in one hit, but he can go in, he can switch and go into, I think I just go into Vaporeon here, because I could just either Scald spam him. Doesn't really have a great Scald switch in. He could go into Chansey though. Scald does a lot to this thing. I really want a Shadow Ball here, but I just feel like I gotta make the safe play. And I don't want to take a Bug Buzz either. This is a tough play here. I want to get rid of his item. I'm gonna go into Vaporeon. I'm gonna make the play in Vaporeon. I think Cofagrigus is very useful here. If he does decide to Quiver Dance, I can roar him out. If he decides to Roost here, that's fine, because he's just gonna essentially be in a similar situation. He's gonna Giga Drain actually. So he shows the Giga Drain there. So if had I stayed in, that would have been really nice. But he's gonna get some health back here. So you see Giga Drain on the Volcarona. So, but he is in range of a Scald to some extent anyway. Do I Scald here or do I make a switch? Vaporeon's really nice, but getting rid of this Volcarona is nicer. I think I'm gonna go for the damage with the Scald here and really start to pressure him a little bit. Let's go for the Scald. If he goes into Chansey, that's fine. I could switch into that easy. Cofagrigus walls Chansey all day, so not even worried about that. I'm gonna go over the Scald here. After the Giga Drain recovery, he's probably gonna live the Scald. But we'll put him in a range where he's so weak, I don't know if he's gonna be able to do anything. He might not actually have Roost on this thing. Quiver Dance, Giga Drain leads me to believe he probably doesn't have Roost. So I do have the HP Rock on my Venusaur. But Scald is my play here, because I could do like, you know, 50-60% with the Scald. I'm very surprised he went for Giga Drain there, because Cofagrigus could have done a good amount to him with Shadow Ball. It might have knocked him out after Sandstorm, but I also didn't want to chance the Flame Body hacks on Cofagrigus, because that would have been problematic too. But I do have an opportunity to Rock Slide here too. If Oxygen were to go down, I could Rock Slide. So, or I could EQ predicting the switch, because you know the Rock Slide's coming. He's gonna Giga Drain again. Should be able to live this. We lived the first one. We do live it, no problem. He's gonna get a good amount of health back. Obviously, Vaporeon has a very high health stat, or HP stat, but this Scald is gonna come off here, and it's gonna do a good amount to this Volcarona. Actually brings him all the way down to the point where he can't take another hit. So he very well may Bug Buzz me here, which is I'm contemplating a switch. I'm contemplating saving Oxygen here. I could just let it go down, and then I get a swap and a T-Tar for free, and I can scare this thing out. I can't go into Venusaur, because if he went for a fire move, he'd knock me out. Delphox is a little risky. I think I just let Vaporeon go down here. Because then I just go into Delphox, I click Psyshock or Fire Blast or any of those, and we knock this thing out. Psyshock is probably the better play. So I'm just gonna let Vaporeon go down here. I'm gonna go for the Scald in case he goes for like a Roost or something, but I don't think he has it. And he's gonna Giga Drain again, so that's fine. So Volcarona kills Vaporeon with Giga Drain. Not a big deal, man. This just gives me an opportunity to go into my Delphox now. Hold on. I think the Sand is over too, but this just gives me an opportunity to go to my Delphox. And there's really no reason for him to switch here. Sand does end, so he's gonna know I'm Scarf, but it's all good. I could also go into Asparagus and Mega Evolve and HP Rock, but I think going into Delphox here is the best play, because Psyshock is really gonna be effective against this team, and him switching out here seems very unlikely in my opinion. So I'm simply just gonna go for the Psyshock. I really don't anticipate him to switch here. He could go into Chansey, but Stealth Rocks are here to stay, so this thing dies on entry anyway, so To me, there's really no reason he's standing here. I probably should have looked to see if Delphox actually kills from this range, but I'm pretty sure it will. Volcarona is pretty frail from the defensive standpoint, and it does just knock him out. So Delphix picking up a kill. Delphox kills Volcarona with Psyshock. Very nice. So Volcarona goes down. That's a huge threat. Volcarona Crobat out of the way. Still got to be very cautious with this Swampert. Very, very cautious with this Swampert, especially since I don't have a Water Absorber anymore. But I do still have the ability to set Sand, and with a little bit of chip damage, if I set Sand, I think we can win with Earthquake. So we're gonna save T-Tar, play around Cofagrigus here. Delphox definitely puts in some work. I have Grass Knot for Swampert and things like that. And he doesn't know I'm Scarf too, because Delphox naturally outspeeds Volcarona, which is very nice. So he may just go Chansey here. He may go Rachi. If he goes Rachi, I just go into Cofagrigus. If he goes Cobalion, I go Cofagrigus. If he goes Chansey, I go Cofagrigus. If he goes Swampert, I probably go... I guess if he goes Swampert, I go Venusaur, because I can threat him out with Giga Drain. Or Leech Seed, I suppose. Because even if Chansey comes in against Venusaur, I could just Leech Seed it. You can only Seismic Toss. I'll get a lot of health back. And Excadrill, unless that Chansey has something secret up its sleeve, Excadrill should be able to set up a Swords Dance on it. Here comes Judy, which is the Chansey actually. So Chansey comes in here. It's going to be brought down to about half. I can 2-hit KO with Psyshock at this range, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm going to go into King Tut here. Getting off a knockoff is going to be worth more to me than any of the potentially trying to knock this thing out at this point in the match. I would rather go into Cofagrigus, get my leftovers. I don't think this Chansey can touch Cofagrigus. I can knock off something. I could actually go for the Will-O-Wisp, which is, I think, my play over knockoff. Predicting the switch into Swampert or Jirachi, I can Will-O-Wisp. Maybe even Cobalion. Any of those would be crippled by that. So we have a couple different plays, but Harry is way too useful here because we are almost at the point where Harry can come in and just click, Fire Blast and Grass Knot and Psyshock and things like that, and really clean up late game. So I'm just worried about him going for a T-Wave, which is why I want to switch here. It's just not worth me losing Delphox at this point in the match, especially when I can pressure him so much. But he's got Seismic Toss, most likely Soft Boiled or Wish. And then in terms of his other move, he might have Counter for Excadrill, but that's why I have the Swords Dance, so I could set up on it and then Oko. But anyway, let's go to King Tut here, see what he's going to do. He may have Toxic, he may have T-Wave. He's going for the Soft Boiled, so we get a little bit more intel on this thing. Alright, obviously, so he's not Wish. He's Seismic Toss, Soft Boiled. I don't think he can touch me, so I get a free Will-O-Wisp here. The other three Pokemon are potentially physical attackers, so I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp. If he decides to stay in, that's fine. I'll get a Will-O-Wisp. If he switches, I'll burn something. I could potentially knock off some items. I could Shadow Ball. I could Pain Split. A lot of different options here with this Cofagrigus, who's putting in some work so far, which is why I saved it against that Volcarona. I just didn't want to risk him Quiver Dancing in my face. I almost put Haze on this Cofagrigus, but I went with Pain Split just in case because I knew it would help me against Chansey, especially if he has Toxic or something. But his move slot is becoming limited. Seismic Toss, Soft Boiled, likely Toxic or Thunder Wave again. Potential Counter is something we'll have to be very careful with, especially with Excadrill. And if we can get rid of its Eviolite, this match would be very nice. But I'm expecting him to switch here because he's going to want to preserve that Eviolite. He very well may go into Swampert. He does show the Toxic here. Toxic is one of his moves, and he is going to poison us, which is annoying. But I will miss the Will-O-Wisp, so that's kind of a bummer. So I'm very surprised he just went for the Toxic there, but that's okay. I'm starting to think this Chansey can't touch me. I want to go for the knockoff, but I think he's going to switch. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. Would he switch here? I just don't want him to go into Swampert for free, basically. Let's go for the Will-O-Wisp. He Seismic Tosses, so he's just staying in. He doesn't care. He's going to stay in. I'm going to connect the Will-O-Wisp this time. Very nice. And we are going to burn this thing. I basically just need to hit a knockoff here is what I need to do. Can I just do that? Are you gonna just keep staying in and Seismic Tossing me, or are you gonna switch this time? Are you gonna switch? Don't do that. I mean, I don't think this thing could touch me. If he goes into Swampert, I mean, I could just go to Venusaur all day. And King Tut can live a hit from Swampert and go for the Will-O-Wisp. Let's go for the knockoff. I feel like he's gonna switch, man. I feel like he's gonna switch. I'm going into Asparagus, dude. I feel like he's gonna switch. What are the chances he stays in? He's not gonna go into Rachi. Because I could hit him with a Shadow Ball. He could go into Swampert here. Which would be the best thing to take the knockoff. Is he gonna switch? So I go to Venusaur. Get my Mega Evolution off. The worst that happens is he Seismic tosses. I'm going to Venusaur. I feel like he's gonna switch here. I feel like he's gonna switch. Tell me he stayed in? Bro, what are you staying in for? Alright, well, I'll take a Seismic Toss with Venusaur. It'll get my Mega Evolution off. He's gonna Soft Boiled, so that's fine. I don't know why he's staying in. I would be able to knock off his item, but that's okay. So he's gonna get the full heal here. He does have the Natural Curse, so when he switches out, he'll get that. He's not going into Swampert right now, though. He may go into Cobalion. I want to get my Mega Evolution off here, though, and a Leech Seed. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get my Mega Evolution off with a Leech Seed here. If he goes to the Seismic Toss, I'll get a lot of health back with the recovery because of how like, fat Chansey is. And if he switches, then I get a Leech Seed off here. So, looks like he's staying in, so I should be able to get a Leech Seed off here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back to Cofagrigus after this turn. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's just sacking this thing off. I do connect the Leech Seed, it's a miracle. And that's very nice. And he's just gonna go for the S-Toss here. But you're gonna see it's gonna do, obviously, 50 damage. But after Leech Seed, I should be able to get back to up to a pretty sizable amount of health. So we're at 137, and we're actually gonna go back to how much? How are we gonna go to? We're gonna go from 137 to 181. Do you see how much damage we just got back there, ladies and gentlemen? My goodness. All right, I'm going into King Tut here because I feel like he is gonna stay in this time, and I'm gonna be able to knock off. If he switches this time, I'm just gonna laugh so hard at these predictions. Maybe he switches this time. Maybe he goes into Cobalion. I don't know. I mean, he very well could. Well, if he switched, he'll go after me. Just go for the S-Toss, dude. Just go for the S-Toss. He switches this time. Oh my goodness, the pro plays, bro. The pro plays. In comes R, which is the Rachi. Okay, so that's fine with me. That's fine with me because I can Shadow Ball this thing all day. I can Shadow Ball this thing all day. So I think this will work. I could just go for the Shadow Ball here. I could also Will-O-Wisp, but I could actually go for the knockoff too. Let me go with the knockoff, get rid of any item he might have. Shadow Ball is a 2 KO, but getting rid of his item here is going to be really important. And one of the main reasons I brought King Tut to this match is it does have the ability Mummy, which will get rid of his Serene Grace. So if he tries to flinch me, we see U-turn. So that's fine with me. U-turn. Likely a Scarf variant. He gets a crit. Mummy activates, not a big deal. That will get rid of his Serene Grace, though, which is the point of this. I mean, he's gone now, but it's nice to know. I doubt he's Shuka, so that's good. And go back into Chansey, dude. Just like going to Chansey. I knocked off, so that'd be great if you went to Chansey. Here comes Judy. Get rid of that item. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. There goes his Eviolite, which is wonderful. That's exactly what I was hoping for, man. Exactly what I was hoping for. Gonna get rid of that Eviolite, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Alright. I know he has a Toxic. What I could do, I mean, I could try to set up Sand now. If I can go into T-Tar, get my Sand up, go into Excadrill, click Swords Dance, we win. If I could do that. If he's not Air Balloon on his Cobalion, but I haven't seen the Cobalion yet. He could be Air Balloon. Now that Chansey doesn't have an Eviolite, though, and I know he has Toxic, I could probably go into Delphox and just click Psyshock a bunch. Although, it doesn't really do a ton. How much does Godzilla do when he doesn't have it? Because Godzilla could take the hits. Oh, you the blob. Get rid of his Eviolites. T-Tar does like 35%, so not a ton. Asparagus comes in though, I could Leech Seed all day. I'd force this thing out. Start Sludge Bombing and things like that. I mean, I get almost as much recovery back. And I could force Leech Seeds. Gotta get rid of this Chansey somehow, but I gotta do it safely. I'm gonna go into Asparagus here. Yeah, let's go to Asparagus. I think King Tut is still valuable. I don't want him to take too much damage here. And getting a Leech Seed off on anything is nice. That's chip damage. He's very well gonna just probably go for a Soft Boiled here. But now that he's no Eviolite, yeah, he goes for the Soft Boiled. Now that he has no item though, that's really clutch. It's very, very clutch. So I'm expecting the Rachi here. I'm definitely expecting the Rachi. But I'm just gonna go for a Leech Seed. I really don't lose anything by going for Leech Seed here. It allows me to take on a Seismitoss and potentially try to stall him out. I think you only get like 16 Seismitosses. So it's not like he has like an infinite amount. No, 32 max. Just kidding. He's got a lot of Seismitosses. Just kidding. But Leech Seed on anything here. He's going to stay in. We're going to connect the Leech Seed, which is very nice. And I think the only thing he can really do is Seismitoss, so it's not a huge deal. There's the Seismitoss. Not a big deal. Okay. So we are getting some damage back, some residual damage. You'll see that brings us down to 31. With the Leech Seed, that is going to bring us back up to, I think, just 2 points shy, so 185, I believe. 175, I'm sorry, I miscounted there, but that's okay. Do I think he's going to switch here? I have no idea. I could Giga Drain, I could Hidden Power. I wish I had Earthquake. I almost brought the Earthquake on this thing, but I did not. Leech Seed would be nice to hit the Jirachi. He very well could go into... I can go King Tut again. I can go King Tut again here and see if I can get some Leech Seed recovery back. Do I think he's going to switch, though? I'm going to just go for a Leech Seed again. I think he's going to switch. He's going to stay in. So he's going to Soft Boiled. So here we are. That'll get me back to full. I'll probably just Leech Seed again in case he switches. I want to find out what item that Cobalion has. That's like one of the biggest things right now. Is trying to figure out what item that Cobalion has. I almost had a knockoff on this thing too, but I ran Sludge Bomb instead. I think I'm just going to Leech Seed again. I got plenty of them. Let's go for it again. If he Seismitosses, that's fine. This Chansey is very tough to take down, and I just don't want to like throw something at it and like lose a Pokemon to the Chansey for no reason. Like to me, that seems really dumb. So, I mean, I have the ability to go into T-Tar, set up the sand, and then just bring an Excadrill, click Swords Dance, and then like something just like his whole team just dies. He's gonna switch this time, so my Leech Seed will hit something else. Here comes R, which I believe is the Jirachi. It is. It takes Stealth Rock's damage, and I'm gonna click it with that nice little Leech Seed here. We do connect again. Very nice. We can start to wear this thing down even further. Jirachi, let me see how much like a Jirachi can do to me. I don't think he can do too much with like a Psychic type move. I think Zen Headbutt would be the move likely. It does about 50%. It actually does a good amount. I'm gonna go into King Tut, I think. I could also go to Godzilla. Seems a bit risky though. Harry is also very nice. I think I'm gonna go into Harry here because if he goes for U-turn, I think he's gonna go for the offensive. It'd be nice to go into Harry. I don't know anything about this thing though, and losing Harry right now would be incredibly dumb. Would he just U-turn though? I'm gonna go to Harry here. I have a feeling he's gonna go for a Psychic type move. I don't think he's gonna U-turn. If he does U-turn, just props to him on the play. I don't know if he thinks that I can't touch him with Venusaur, but he's gonna Iron Head here. So he shows the Iron Head. We do resist that. Very nice. And we actually get some Leech Seed recovery, which is very nice too. So we're gonna get some health back here. And he is most likely locked into Iron Head, if I had to guess. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna make a double. Oh man, this is tough. I wanna make the double into Godzilla, but that's just so risky, man. I think I'm just gonna go for the Psyshock actually. Because it's gonna hit everything relatively hard. Even if the Chansey comes in, I could start putting pressure on the Chansey. He doesn't have an Eviolite anymore. Let's go for Psyshock. I gotta find out more information about this Jirachi still. If he goes in a Swampert, I could at least hit it relatively hard. He is gonna switch. I really wanted to go into T-Tar there. Here comes Judy, which is the Chansey. After Stealth Rocks, I don't think Psyshock is gonna be a 2-hit KO, but I can just continuously hit Psyshock and hopefully knock this thing out. So actually, that is a 2-hit KO. It looks like I'm gonna click Psyshock again. This may be enough to knock out Judy. And he doesn't know if I'm Scarfed yet or not. If this knocks out Chansey, I'm gonna be in a very good spot. And it does. Awesome. Delphox picking up another kill. Delphox kills Chansey with Psyshock. Very nice. Very nice. The big question mark here is what is that Cobalion set? What set is Cobalion running? Once I figure that out, That is going to be very helpful. If he does not have an air balloon, Excadrill pretty much just wins. Here comes Jirachi. I'm thinking I want to stay in here, but that's so dumb. So I'm going to switch. I'm just going to go into Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus has done a phenomenal job this match. It's done a great job. So I'm going to go into Cofagrigus here. It's done great. I'm Scarfed, so there's really no reason for me to stay in. And I know he's Scarfed. Or I'm very certain he's Scarfed. He might just U-turn here. Very well possible that he just goes for a U-turn. He does just go for the U-turn, so that's fine. We're going to be able to take that, no problem. And we're going to be sitting at about half after Toxic and then Leftovers, which puts in a situation where we can take on the Cobalion, and I could live a hit from the Swampert and burn it. He has no way to get rid of that burn anymore. So I will be able to burn the Swampert here, if that's the decision he makes. If he goes to Cobalion, I could burn that too. So either way, I should be able to get a Will-O-Wisp off on one of his 3 offensive Pokemon. And once I figure out what that Cobalion set is, I can pull the trigger on Excadrill. And like I said, the reason I've been waiting on the Excadrill sweep is solely because that Swampert is too strong right now. If I do the calc against Swampert, I'm going to do about max 78% to Swampert, and that's if he's not invested in any HP at all. So I will not knock him out with 1 hit. So I do have to be very careful against that thing. But, you know, if I can weaken it, then Delphox can come in and beat it. Venusaur can live any hit from it. So this is our game right now. We just got to play it very smart, methodical, make the smart plays. Here comes Brawl, which I'm assuming is the Cobalion. And he takes rocks damage, and there is no air balloon, it looks like. So I'm pretty free to just go for a Will-O-Wisp here, but more so I'm thinking I just simply go into, I'm thinking I just go for a Will-O-Wisp. I mean, a Shadow Ball would be nice for chip damage, but I'm pretty sure I just click Will-O-Wisp here, because all he can do to me is Iron Head, which could flinch me, which could be problematic. 30% chance. Venusaur beats this thing pretty much all day. I don't really think Cobalion can do much to me. He could Swords Dance, I guess, is really the thing. He could Swords Dance. And if he starts Swords Dancing on me, I mean, I'm in a little bit of trouble. I guess that would be the biggest thing that he could do right now, is Swords Dance against me. How much time do I got? 64 seconds. I don't really think this thing can touch Venusaur. I mean, he may have, like, Aerial Ace or something, but that's probably it. Does he get Zen Headbutt? He does get Zen Headbutt. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp here. He is going to go for the Swords Dance. Okay. Not a big deal. I should be able to connect this Willow. I do. I'm curious to see if he's a Lumberry variant or not. He's burned. Doesn't look like a Lumberry pops, so that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Shadow Ball and try to weaken this thing. Or the alternative plan is go into Venusaur here. But Venusaur can't really touch him, so I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball this time. Actually, you know, I'm going to go for the Pain Split. I feel like Pain Split will get me more health back than Shadow Ball would take off from him. Because, like, whatchamacallit, this thing is, like, super duper bulky from the special side. Let me see here against Cobalion. Pretty sure he's, like, really bulky on this. No, it's the physical side he's bulky. So Shadow Ball does, like, 40%. I'm going to just go for Shadow Ball here. He may Iron Head now. I want to see... He's going to Iron Head. I want to see how much Delphox does to him with Psyshock. We're going to live that. We are going to connect the Mummy here. Get rid of his Justified. I hope we don't get flinched, though. Don't get flinched. He's Life Orb. We connect the Shadow Ball. Awesome. That's very good. And we bring him down. We get a Spit after all. That's okay. Psyshock does not much. Not much. SD Iron Head is his set so far. And he is burned, so he's very weak in here. And King Tut is getting kind of worn down, but does have some usefulness. Well, actually, King Tut is probably just going to go down here. And then I'll just go into Delphox and click Psyshock, I think. It's probably the best play. I think I just click Shadow Ball, let King Tut to go down. There's really no reason to save him. I mean, I could go into Venusaur here and save King Tut. Is there any reason for me to save King Tut? There is. There is a reason, and the only reason for that is the Jirachi. So I am going to save this thing. I'm going to go into Asparagus here. The only reason why I'm going to save this thing, just so people know, is because if that Jirachi, which I think is Scarfed, starts Iron Head flinching me, I can get rid of his Serene Grace. So to me, it's worth saving it, just for that one play. He's going to Iron Head here, But again, we should be able to take this. I'm pretty bulky, so you can see it's not really going to do too much to me. He is burn. He's losing life orb recoil, all sorts of stuff here. Not a big deal. I could pretty much just Giga Drain here. I could also predict a potential Zen Headbutt, which I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, I'm thinking I just go to Harry. Because really he's not going to close combat. Any move he goes for, I should be able to resist it. So let's go to Harry here and let him kind of knock himself out. I'm just being careful in case he has the Zen Headbutt is really my play. Just being careful in case he does have the Zen Headbutt. He goes for the Iron Head here. I know I can live it, no problem. And we're going to take that. And he is going to die to the burn. So Cofagrigus picks up the kill there from the burn. Actually dies to the Life Orb. So Cobalion dies to Life Orb recoil. Okay, not a big deal. So Cobalion goes down. So now Jirachi comes in, I Fire Blast and knock it out. Swampert comes in, I Grass Knot and knock it out. If he decides to do some switching shenanigans, that's fine with me too. But here comes R, which I think is the Jirachi. It is indeed. He probably doesn't know I'm Scarfed. And I am faster than him. So I'm just going to click Fire Blast. Yeah, this is my play 1,000,000%. Especially with Venusaur still up. 1,000,000%, just click Fire Blast here. And then basically, if I knock this thing out, I sack off Cofagrigus to Swampert. Go into Venusaur, click Giga Drain, and that's game. So that's the plan right now. If he's switching to Swampert, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to get Rocks damage and Fire Blast, so. He's going to stay in. Fire Blast does connect here. That is going to knock out the Jirachi. So Delphox putting in the work here. Knocking that thing out. Picking up its third kill of the game. Delphox kills Jirachi with Fire Blast. And the beautiful thing here is if he goes for Waterfall, I can get rid of his Swift Swim with the Cofagrigus right now. So that was another reason why I thought it was cool to do this Cofagrigus thing. So I'm going to go into King Tut now and basically keep Harry alive. The reason why I don't keep Harry alive is because it does have that Grass Knot. So if things go awry, like if he crits my Venusaur with an Earthquake, I do have the ability to keep my Delphox around and go for a Grass Knot. So let's go to Cofagrigus here. Hopefully he Waterfalls me instead of Earthquake. He's going to Mega Evolve, obviously. And he may be Rain Dance. I'm not sure yet. If he's Adamant Rain Dance, Delphox does outspeed, I believe. He goes for the Rain Dance. So not surprising. The beautiful thing is T-Tar can come in and essentially stop the Rain Dance. Or stop the rain, really. So I could also just go into, whatchamacallit, Venusaur. So this is going to force him to attack me. He's going to probably go for the Earthquake here, but I could at least go for a Will-O-Wisp or a Pain Split. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. He's only got 5 turns of rain, so he's going to EQ. So we see Rain Dance, EQ. That's 2 turns of rain. And I'm going to just double check my Mega Venusaur here against Mega Swampert. But I don't believe he can knock me out in one hit. He definitely can't, no matter what. And Giga Drain does Oko, so I'm going to simply go into my Asparagus here. Let me make a note, though, that Swampert kills Cofagrigus with EQ. But Cofagrigus definitely put in the work. I'm going to click Giga Drain here. I should live an EQ here, 100%. The only way his EQ knocks me out is with a crit. And I should be able to live any other hit. I don't think he gets any Psychic or Flying moves. If he does, well, I get Pro Played. But we'll see what he's going to do. And again, if he's Adamant Swampert, then Delphox Okos him anyway. If he's Jolly, he outspeeds us in the rain. But I do have the ability to get rid of his own. Like, what I could do is I could just go T-Tar, get rid of the rain, go for, like, Earthquake or whatever, get some damage off. He wants to set up Rain Dance again, I'll switch out. But the only way I think he knocks us out here is with a crit. And even then, I think it's close. It says he does 40 to 47. I'm at 136 out of 187, which puts me at 72. He's going to Ice Punch. I should live that no problem. Obviously, we have the Thick Fat, so that's not going to do anything. And we do connect the Giga Drain here, no problem. I was really nervous about a freeze there, but Venusaur is going to pick up the kill. So Venusaur kills Swampert with Giga Drain. And that is going to be the game. I believe we just picked up a 4-0 victory over the HeatedMo. Definitely a good game, though. He brought a really good team. I really think Mo has a great team this season, and especially with that Rachi. I love Crobat. Crobat's like one of my favorite Pokemon. Chansey, things like that. We didn't actually get to use the sand at all. Excadrill didn't even get sent to the battle, but I was saving in the back, scouting out his team, making sure I can make it work with the Excadrill. But you know, it didn't happen that way. But I gotta say, Delphox picking up 3 kills, Cofagrigus picking up a kill, Venusaur picking up a kill. I mean, Delphox really put in the work. Would have been 4 kills if you factor in that Cobalion there. So Delphox proving time and time again that it's a great pickup in the RU tier. It was our 3rd pickup in RU, so very surprising to see it put in so much work, but I'm very happy about that. So we're gonna move to 6 and 3. Very, very nice. I think we got some pretty tough matches coming up here pretty soon. I don't actually know. Let me see if I can pull up the schedule just to give you guys an idea of who we're playing next. Got a lot of tough matches coming around the corner here. So I just played Mo. So we've got PK Sparks in the for Alligators next. Then the Real Maril, the Druddigons. So Miguel, Leo, then Nips, Jay, and Nexus. So some pretty tough matches coming around the corner here. So either way, pretty hyped about that win there. I'll take it. I hope you guys did enjoy. Definitely show your love on that like button down below. Don't forget to check out Mo's channel. And I'm going to catch you guys next weekend. My name is Dan. I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.